Vegeta and Nappa are one of those characters that I really can't tell you why they exist in the game. They don't have a really clear purpose, and yes, they're not a bad banner unit by any means, but they should have been a lot better. So I'm going to show you what they should have looked like upon release, so that way we can define a reason for their existence. Because Vegeta and Nappa, what are we doing here, buddy? What are we trying to accomplish? And I understand this is a late 2023 unit for JP and March 2024 unit for global, but they still should have been a lot better on release. And at first, of course, I'm going to explain the problems I have with their kit, but then I'll show you what they should have looked like in order to make it a lot more. Because again, like this character drops, and why use them? Like, what's the actual point of using them? Anyways, I currently am on vacation, so I am releasing a ton, or currently recording a bunch of different videos for you. The goal is to have at least one video out every single day that I'm gone. I should be away for about 18 to 20-ish days, so I am sorry if I cannot cover specific content or specific videos. I will try to, plan it ahead, but trying to plan Trying to plan ahead 3 weeks for a game that is very news heavy is a little bit difficult, but I do have a lot of things I'd like to talk about when it comes to this game, so I love to yap too, so I should really have no issue when it comes to this. But anyways, let's talk about it. Thank you for being here, by the way. Hopefully you subscribe and you like the video if you do end up enjoying it. Let's talk about Vegeta and Nappa, their problems, and then let me show you how they should have released how they should have looked upon release. So my main issue is when you are releasing a character that has categories that aren't the greatest, the character should automatically be one of the best characters, to release in the year. Not like, in the game or anything like that, but they need to have a clear purpose and be very strong in either of those categories, or have an actual reason to use these characters or to use them. The reason why I say that is because this character is accomplishing nothing on Saiyan Saga. They are accomplishing nothing on Planetary Destruction. They are accomplishing nothing on Space Traveling Warriors or even Terrifying Conquerors. If you're running these two teams, you have no reason to run Vegeta and Nappa. Pure Saiyans, you're not even thinking about them. Joint Forces, you are definitely not thinking about this character. So why do we exist? Right? Why? And then when it comes to their kit, like, dude, Saiyan Saga isn't like a bad category, but it's one of those categories that need help. And if you're releasing a character in 2024 or late 2023 for a team that needs help, and they're not even a consideration for that team, is a problem. On top of that, I do not like seeing this on banner units or even free-to-play characters. Attacks effective against all types is doing nothing for anyone. Either make this crit or do something crazy. Additional super attack, something. But especially when it's locked behind a mechanic that many bosses don't even allow, this is like one of the most worthless sentences in a kit in 2024 or late 2023. However you want to. Who is this? Look, again, if this is like on like an Dokkan Fest LR or something, sure, there's value there, right? But a banner unit is not meant to do damage, right? Like, in my opinion, unless the banner unit is strictly built, you can see from their kit, to do like insane damage, sure. But this character, they just have stats to make sure they don't really die, like just so they can say they have stats, just to say they have stats. They're not doing anything. So for this line to be in here when it's not really doing anything, like, who cares? Because even if your enemy is an attack or defensive down status, if they get to attack, they're not doing anything to the enemy. It doesn't matter, man. It really doesn't. Especially for the content we had back in that time, right? Which is literally just a few months ago. On top of that, another issue I have with this character is you really need to build up to this as fast as possible, okay? Because turn one, they're getting one shot, and that's just the reality of the situation in 2024, and the reality of the situation at the end of 2023, and the reality of the situation now. I'm recording this during the worldwide stuff, so it's just, there's no use for this character. And I also do believe that some characters should be built, actually no, most characters should be built with at least a few months into the future in mind, right? So another problem there. Also, I think if you're going to have some damage reduction, restricted to a specific slot, it should be a lot more than 30%. Not like I'm not asking for like 70%, but I'm saying like come on, this, you know, like, you know what I'm saying, like, because 30% you're still getting one shot, so it doesn't matter. But if you increase this while increasing some other stuff and making these units a little bit more then it makes more sense, and now we can actually talk about a reason why you'd actually go ahead and use this character. So those are my issues with this unit. Let me explain to you what I think this character should have looked like upon release, and you can go ahead and give me your thoughts. So let's talk about it. 150% the stats is the same, and performs additional super attack, and guards all attacks for 1 turn from the start of battle. So this accomplishes a few things. One, the reason why I said "and" here is to separate this and with the you know, for 1 turn here, because if I said 150% stats, comma, and then performs, I think it would imply that everything here is for 1 turn, and I don't want that. So I want this to be obviously forever, and only these 2 things be for 1 turn. But being able to guard gives you a little more defensive utility in slot 1 in the first turn, obviously, right? And then performing additional super attack that is guaranteed is allowing you to guarantee raise your defense, guarantee raise your attack, and guarantee start building up your passive here. Because if you get really bad luck, you're not launching a super attack, which means the only attack that you perform is going to be that, and you're only going to raise your stats 1. So it's like, with this, you are already guaranteed to build up a lot faster here. And you're going to have some defensive insurance in case, you know, or whatever the case may be, because there is no in case, because it's happening guaranteed, right? Terrifying Conquerors or Planetary Destruction category allies 2 key and 50%. Look how easy that is. That doesn't break the game. That doesn't do anything. That hits 2 categories, in my opinion, who definitely need it. And, you know, I could have honestly said, yo, let's go ahead and buff Saiyan Saga as well. But these Saiyan Saga characters, like a lot of these units here, they're on either Planetary Destruction or Terrifying Conquerors. So I'm accomplishing what I want to, really, anyways, right? Anyways, moving on. Plus an additional 50% to attack when performing a super attack. A little extra damage, why not? Key plus 1 up to 3. Plus an additional attack and defense plus 30% up to 150 with each attack performed. So here, I lowered this from 80 to 50, and then I lowered the key here from 1 to 3, but also increased the percentages from 30% up to 150. Okay, so here, if you really pay attention, now we're building up to 3 key. The reason also, okay, let me explain this too. The reason why I lowered the key from 3 to 4 here is because of the support. So now, like, when you're fully built up, you're going to have 5 key instead of just having the 4. So I want to lower the key just a little bit, right? And then the reason why, of course, I lowered the attack on super here, where's the 50% on super, as well, just lowering it lowering it. The reason why I lowered it is because, again, of the support, because now we have more extra attack. But also, I'm trying to not talk too fast because I'm getting like too passionate about this, but also because we are raising our attack and defense higher than before with a single attack that we perform. So I'm trying to slightly balance these numbers while giving this character actual useful stuff, right? So now, again, guarding and guaranteed additional first turn, 150 here, up to another 150 there, support with 2 key and 50% there. Looking pretty good in my opinion. Launch additional attack that has a great chance of becoming a super attack. So now in turn 1, you can launch 3 super attacks, which allow you to get up to at least 90% of stats, but we're not done. Attack plus 150% and performs an additional super attack with the target enemies in attack down or defensive down status. This is how, in my opinion, you should do one of these kits here. And you can make this maybe defense or something like that. But again, attack down, defensive down status. If you manage to get this, and I wonder if this would proc mid-turn, because let's say you enter the rotation or the turn, you super attack, you lower their attack or defense. I wonder if that would proc this part of the passive, right? I wonder, because then again, the next attack you do would be pretty would be buffed up by the attack here. I wonder how that would actually work, but regardless, The point I'm making is that now, with this extra additional, you can, in one turn, build this up completely. You can get your own attack, the guaranteed turn 1 additional, that's 2, the 70% chance is 3, in attack with defensive down status, that is 4, and then hidden potential is 5. So now you enter the turn, you can perform 5 super attacks, if this is how I think it works, which allows you to build up to 300% of stats and 5 ki instantly in turn 1. Which I think is very, while you're also supporting and raising your stats per, like, the reason why I didn't really increase this is because, again, they're performing so many attacks. And if I changed this to greatly raising, this would have been a little bit too strong in my opinion, right? But the fact that it's not, I think is fair. I think it's fair. Reduces damage received by 50% as a 5th attacker of the turn. I think this is, again, just very, very fair. If I'm in the 3rd slot and I super attacked 5 times and I raise my defense 5 times and I have 50% damage reduction in there and then my defense is 300% plus a support here, I think I'm gonna be okay. But of course, guards all attacks when there's another Terrifying Conquerors or Pure Saiyan category ally attacking in the same turn. Again, it's very, very simple. They do have a way to get infinite guard, but you know, in the chance that you don't have one of these characters on the team or in the turn, this also will allow you to have just a little bit of insurance as well. But this is a lot better in my opinion. The support itself makes it a lot more runnable. But now that this character is a support type character, you really want them in that 3rd slot, which allows them to also have this nice 50% damage reduction in slot 3. But also, if you have any people attacking in slot 1 and slot 2, the beautiful thing is that that gives them the ability to have the enemy have their attack and defensive down status, or that status implemented depending on who's attacking in that 1st or 2nd slot. The guarding, the stat increase, like, I think this is a solid character. This is something that I would genuinely consider running on Saiyan Saga, something I would genuinely consider running on Space Traveling Warriors, Planetary Destruction, or Terrifying Conquerors, right? So imagine a new character, a new 200% lead for Planetary Destruction. You're probably putting that character on the team because there's a lot of Pure Saiyan or Terrifying Conquerors on Planetary Destruction. And then being able to support them like that is also really nice as well. So yeah, let me know what you think. I mean, again, this is what I think they should have released like back in 2023, and this would have given them a genuine purpose at that time. And even today, this would have been a really good banner unit kit. I really do believe that every banner unit needs to have a specific purpose. They also need to support, and every line really needs to be, like, for a Dokkan Fest LR, I guess you can argue every line needs to be, you know, meaningful. But with a character that is very niche and a character that doesn't really have great stats, either you're trying to be defensive, you're trying to be offensive, or you're trying to, you know, survive and give your team utility. And this unit is definitely surviving in slot 3, and they're definitely giving their team utility in slot 3, and they're also holding their own, right, and allowing themselves to build up without actually having you know, a real legitimate threat of dying. And of course, I mean, like, there's always going to be a character who can one-shot anyone in you know, in turn 1, unless your name is Beast Go On or something. But the point I'm trying to make is that this character is definitely a lot better, and not even close to 2 OP for what a banner unit should have looked like back then, and especially now. So let me know what you think, and I will see you in the next one. Merry Christmas and good night.